Hello, hello, and welcome to Oracle Hour. My name is Sabrina Rising. I am a spiritual teacher and a psychic medium, and it's my honor to channel spirit on your behalf. I love being here with you live every Sunday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for being here live with me. For tonight, we are actually streaming on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, especially if you're watching on Instagram and LinkedIn, you can see me, but I can't see you. So if you have a question, please come and put it in the chat. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hi, Emily. Hello, Emily. Good to see you. Thank you for watching live. Of course, we always answer questions on a first come, first serve basis. If you're new to Oracle Hour, if this is your first time here and you're not exactly sure what to expect, essentially I teach on a topic for the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can ask literally any question that you want to the Oracle. So I will be channeling universal intelligence. I use my intuitive abilities, my psychic abilities to bring a message from your higher self, something that you need to hear in this moment, that your soul is calling for, that it's asking for, in order to perhaps create or create an opening for you to begin the healing that needs to happen for you to have a life that you deeply desire, that you deeply love. Okay, so this is my wish for you, and of course my wish for all beings everywhere, myself included. Okay, so again, readings are wonderful for insight and information, to give you access to the unseen realms, and the real transformation happens when you take the messages that you receive and you start to implement them in your life, and you take personal responsibility for the quality of your life by doing the inner work practices, doing some of the, following the guidance that you receive, whether that's in tonight's reading or in future readings. If you have a deep desire for a mediumship connection, so if you already know that you want to speak to a loved one in spirit, here's what I want to say about that. It's more appropriate for you to book a one-to-one reading with me, to come into a session with me so that we can sit together and I can see you on screen and we can go deep into the reading and we can honor the spirit of your loved one, and I can validate, you can validate with me the messages that come through. It's much more respectful to the mediumship process. Or you can also join one of our mediumship events that's upcoming. Okay. So, and having said that, mediumship has happened on Oracle Hour. So if I'm channeling for you and it's your turn to interact with me, and if I feel the presence of a loved one here, of course, if I feel the message, I will always convey the message to you, because this is what I'm committed to, is serving spirit, and of course, serving your highest and best good. Okay. So again, put your question in the chat. If you are a paying member, if you are a first-tier subscriber, a member of our inner Oracle community, you get priority in the chat. So something to consider. And stay for the whole broadcast, because the questions that are asked usually are in line with the tone that is set at the beginning with the talk that I give. Tonight, we're going to talk about coming home to yourself and what that means in terms of healing, and really, as I mentioned, taking responsibility for your own healing journey. And the answers that come through are not just for the person that I'm interacting with, but they're really for all of us. Okay, so you can really start to listen to your own situation, perhaps apply the guidance that I'm giving to someone else to your own life, and see how that's impacting you. Okay. Beautiful. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Here we go. I have one more button to press, and I will be right back. Here we go. And beautiful. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So hello, everybody. Hello. I can see we have questions already. I can't wait to answer your questions. Also, Barbara, if you want to give everybody the link to join me on screen, this is something that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. If you want to come on screen and be coached live, as long as you're okay being filmed with your question, there's the link to join me live on YouTube, and we can have a deeper conversation about what it is that you're going through. I love to chat with you on screen, so I really enjoy this portion of the show. So if you want to come on screen with me, please don't be shy. This is a loving, non-judgmental, supportive community. We'd love to see you. Okay, so something to consider while you are, we'll just take the link off, something to consider while you are watching the broadcast. Okay, so for tonight, we're talking about coming home to yourself. And I know there's a lot of intense energy right now in the world. There's, it feels like I mean, I say that, and I can remember back to, the pandemic era when it felt like there was a lot of intense energy in the world. And there's something very similar to that going on in our collective. Okay. So there's a lot of fear, a lot of anger being projected in the news, things that are happening in world events that can trigger some very deep grief and sadness and some really intense fear reactions. Reaction is always a fear-based response to a perceived threat. So there's a lot of reactivity in the collective right now. And I say this because we can get easily influenced and swept up in this kind of reactivity and lose our center as humans. Okay, we can get caught up in fear and insecurity without even realizing why. It's just something that's going on in the collective consciousness. And when the collective is experiencing something, you're feeling it too as part of the collective, even if you're not fully aware of, oh, I'm experiencing this, or I'm feeling this, or I'm having these thoughts, or I feel stressed and I don't know why. Okay, so if this is you, you're not alone. So many of us are feeling this energy. And there's never been a more important time, in my humble opinion, to really learn how to develop personal sovereignty so you can stay grounded and centered in the truth of who you are, in your own inner peace. And we can only find inner peace with ourselves once we do our own inner healing work. Okay, so when I say coming home to yourself, I'm talking about being grounded and embodied in your own essence, in your own truth, in your own self-love and self-care. Okay, so like I said, we can get caught up in the opinions of others or in what's happening in the world, or allowing our thoughts and ideas to be influenced by the collective. And of course, there is no power in that, because then we're always susceptible to what's happening outside of us. Okay, so if our circumstances determine our state, we will never have real power. Okay, so empowerment means that I'm standing in the truth of who I am, and I'm rooted in that truth regardless of what's happening around me. And in spiritual community, we call this equanimity, the ability to be the calm in the storm, to be able to discern truth from falsehood, what's actually happening and what is my perception of what's happening, and learning to understand the difference between those two so I can make an informed choice about my life, whether that's, your political inclination or your spiritual beliefs or your personal practice, or if you bring this down to a micro level, like how you're interacting in your personal relationships. Okay, so it's very important, especially now when this is such a sensitive time in our collective, as I mentioned, to be able to take our triggers whenever we're triggered with something upsets us, something takes us out of our power, or it takes us from our center, that we literally pause and sit with the uncomfortable emotion and ask ourselves, okay, what is this? Why is this triggering me so much? What is the root of this emotion? Where did it start? Where is this coming from? How can I presence myself and bring myself back to love, bring myself back to a higher consciousness? Okay, this is, of course, is what the free will is for. Okay, so we all have free will in this lifetime. The universe, in the benevolence of the universe, I believe God gave us all free will, so that because we are trusted to use that free will over and over and over again to choose a higher path. And God says, I'm going to give you free will, and I know that no matter how many lifetimes it takes, you're going to find your way home. Okay, so again, this is what the human experiment is for, is to be able to experience the contrast of what it's like to be disconnected from source consciousness and use our free will to find our way back to source. We use this human life as sort of a training ground, okay, of understanding the difference between what it means to live in fear and limitation and lack versus higher consciousness, versus unconditional love, versus the truth, the essence of who I am. Okay, and so when we're a human and we're in a limited state, perhaps you are in a fear-based consciousness from your childhood or from an event or a traumatic experience that happened in your life, and now you're noticing that there's more of these type of events showing up in your life. That's because you're embodying a fear state, and so you're magnetizing to you more opportunities to experience more fear. Okay, if you're angry, whatever your insides are, whatever your inner life represents to you, if you're angry, if you're unsettled, if you're feeling a lot of inner chaos and inner turmoil, you're going to attract experiences that trigger that for you, and you're going to perceive the world through that lens. Okay. This is so important. When we are wounded, we can only perceive things from a wounded perspective, from an unhealed perspective, if you will. Okay. And so if you're living in fear, things are going to appear as a threat. If you're living in love, then things are going to appear as a gentle invitation into deeper curiosity about what's really going on. Okay. This is the relationship I want you to have with yourself. Okay. So oftentimes, I mean, every week after week, we get questions about what should I do? Is this the right move? Is this not the right move? Is this a good guy for me? Not a good guy for me? What's going on? Like, what should I do? And this doubt in terms of not knowing what the next move is really rooted in the absence of a relationship with your higher self. And I love to channel spirit on your behalf. And I love to empower you to learn how to do that for yourself so that you can be self-governing, so that you can develop personal sovereignty. Okay. So coming home to yourself really means that now I deeply trust my own intuitive guidance. I deeply trust my ability to discern what's right for me, what serves my highest and best good. I deeply trust my own capacity for love, to choose love, to be able to stay calm and centered in any situation. Okay. This is true peace and true empowerment, no matter what. Because if our power is determined by our circumstances, it's not really power, right? We're just victims of our circumstances. So coming out of victim consciousness means you don't get to blame anybody. It means you don't get to lash out at anybody. It means you don't get to pretend like somebody attacked you. It means that you take 100% responsibility for your triggers, and to see what that says about you, where you might still be hurting, what part of you might need a little more love, a little more tenderness, a little more self-care, so that you can feel embodied in your own experience of unconditional love. And of course, when we are embodied in unconditional love, the whole world starts to appear more benign, more benevolent. We start to experience the world through the lens of unconditional love, and it hence becomes easier for us to have compassion for mankind, for our fellow humans, regardless of their political inclination, regardless of their religious beliefs, regardless of the atrocities that they are allegedly enacting, and so on. Okay. So it's very important that we develop compassion. We can't develop compassion for others if we don't have compassion for ourselves. And compassion for yourself is difficult to achieve if you don't love yourself, if you haven't done the work to really love and accept yourself exactly as you are, to really heal from the things that have happened to you in your life. Okay. Again, readings are wonderful for insight and information, to give you access to the unseen realm. Part of what we do here is we connect you to the magic so that you can see that there's a way to gain information that's deeply accurate for me, that touches me so deeply that it allows me to experience love in a way, and support and guidance in a way that I haven't experienced it before, which reassures me that I'm supported on my path to healing. Okay. And of course, this is the context that we're creating here for all beings everywhere, is that we're, reminding you that your guides are here, your loved ones are here, your spirit team is here, source consciousness is available to you for you to plug into, so that you don't have to feel afraid, and that you don't have to stay in your triggers, or to create a life that is essentially keeping you safe within your limiting beliefs of being fully self-expressed and of deeply having the life that you want. Okay. So coming home to yourself really means doing the inner work to come out of fear, to learn how to love yourself, to embody that unconditional love, so that you can be a compassionate person, not only to yourself, but with all beings everywhere, and learn how to embrace humanity as each and every one of us, connected to each other, not separate from each other, but connected to each other, part of the same thread of consciousness that is using this human incarnation that we're all in currently as of today, to learn how to choose love, to learn how to choose higher consciousness, so that we can liberate ourselves. Ultimately, this is my wish for you, for me, and for all beings everywhere. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about what it means to come home to yourself, or to do some deep inner healing work, or even how to use messages that you receive in a psychic reading, or a mediumship reading, or past life regression reading, all of the readings that I also do in my coaching practice, how to use those messages so that you can start to apply them in your life, so you can actually start to see the results of your inner work rather than just receiving information, then please feel free to put your question in the chat. You can always reach out to me personally, or you can leave a comment at the end of this video. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I think we are ready for the first question. Hi, Crawford, DK Crawford. DK Crawford says, I was seeing a man for the past 6 weeks. We had a misunderstanding and he has gone silent. Is there further repair for me to do, or did I maybe pass a universal test? Oh, I love this question. Thank you for framing it that way. Okay, DK. So I want to, I mean, look, I think you already know the answer. So, and I just want to confirm, because I'm connecting you to your higher self. And I actually feel, DK, that you have a good practice. Like, you have a good spiritual practice. You are open to, messages and listening to your intuition. I feel like you're an intuitive person. I feel like okay, so there's nothing left for you to do. That's a direct answer to your question. There's nothing more that you need to do. I feel like you're going to hear from this person again, but when you do, it's now you're being tested to maintain that boundary. Okay, because this is a pattern of this person coming and going and disappearing and so on, which points to something within you around either being abandoned or being blindsided. There's kind of like a confusion around what happened. Okay, so this is it's not the first time that it's happened in your life. This goes back to your childhood. So we're always attracting into our lives something that is mirroring a belief that we have, and it can be an unconscious one. Okay, so there's somewhere in your life where there is a pattern of, or an instance of being abandoned or having something being pulled away from you, and this is what this is mirroring back. So in this particular instance, coming back to today, real time, in the situation with this guy, I would say he will come back around. He'll come back on his own. It might take a week or so, but you will hear from him again. And when you do, I want you to maintain that boundary, because this is not the right situation for you. Okay. And your soul already knows that. So I'm really just confirming something that you already know. And the way to repair this is not with him, but within yourself. Okay. So again, coming home to yourself. This is the topic for tonight. And of course, inner child work is foundational work for all transformational work. So it's really important for you to kind of go backwards and go into your own inner landscape and identify maybe some limiting beliefs or some fear you have around being abandoned or having good things be taken away from you. Okay, so I would use that thread to reflect upon that and do some journaling around that. And that will help solidify the boundary that you need to hold in place for this guy when he does come around again. Okay, DK? I hope that was helpful. And if you're still here, please feel free to validate as well. Okay. Thank you. Emily says, what advice do guides have for me and my journey of finding my life partner? What action can I take to support the possibility of entering a healthy relationship, middle-aged, never in a relationship? Okay, I love this question. This is the right question. What action can I take to create the possibility of finding a healthy relationship? Okay, so first of all, there is some subconscious rewiring that I would start to really look into as far as your limiting beliefs around what's possible for you. Okay, so you have some internal story about perhaps not being attractive or lovable, or that love is difficult for you to find, or that kind of thing, or maybe it's just not in the cards for you. Maybe this could be something, common language that you might have used with your friends and things like that. So there are some limiting beliefs that are a little bit conscious, but I want to say mostly unconscious. So some subconscious rewiring I would listen to affirmations when you're in theta wave brain state, which can be like into a state of hypnosis. So this is something that I offer my clients, listening to affirmations just before you drift off to sleep. I'm lovable, I'm attractive. And the other thing that you can do too, as far as action, so there's the action is to listen to these affirmations just as you're drifting off to sleep every night on some recorded app. Or you can do a guided meditation at night before you go to bed. That will help rewire your subconscious as well. The other thing I want to say too is you are you haven't really taken time for yourself. Like, you haven't really invested in self-care and, making sure that you have your own needs met. Emily says yes. Okay. So you haven't really invested in self-care, or, your own, making sure you're getting your own. It's a mindset where I'm willing to put my needs first. I'm willing to take care of myself first. I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to advocate for myself. So this is a mindset shift that needs to happen. And I want you to be very aware of this, because this is part of what's keeping you left behind, if you will, like missing out, is like you're on the sidelines, and you've been on the sidelines for a long time. And there's been reasons for that. You have, either you're taking care of your family, or you're obligated at home, or there's always something that gets in the way of you being able to go to the party, to be, it's almost like, it's kind of like Cinderella that never gets to go to the ball, right? So, and of course, I understand the home environment is not quite like that, but that's the vibe where I want you to go out and get something really nice for yourself, and to take those steps to go out into the world and be seen. Give yourself permission to be seen, and shift your mindset around what's possible for you. This is our belief system, and I say this over and over and over again, influences every cell in our bodies. So when you shift your belief system, both consciously and unconsciously, you literally change the configuration of your cells, and they express a different energy, and that energy will magnetize to you that which you now believe. Okay. So this is so important. I want you to, Emily, what are you saying? Emily's saying, yes, the limiting beliefs of sideline. It's not in the cards for me. Yes to Cinderella. Okay, good. But I feel that. I have taken some actions to provide myself self-care. Okay, good. Beautiful. So it takes, I want to say it takes a good 30 days to build a new pattern of belief. Some people will say it takes 3 weeks. I like to give it a month. The subconscious reprogramming is going to be huge for you. Okay. So you can record yourself in a nap. You can listen to a guided meditation, but put your headphones at night just before you drift off to sleep, or perhaps when you going in for a nap, and listen to, empowerment affirmations that allow you to really call in love, and to be the embodiment of unconditional love. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a huge fan of like manifesting in the traditional way, where we're really holding space for something that we don't have, or longing for something that we don't have. What I want you to do is embody the feeling of what it means to be in love. What does it mean to be in love with yourself? This is what you need to practice, being in love with yourself. When you can be in love with yourself, when you can meet yourself in love, everybody, the whole world, the whole universe will meet you there. Okay. And that includes deep and meaningful relationships with like-minded people. Emily says, along with the affirmations, what ideas of self-care do you suggest? Okay, good. I want you to make yourself pretty. I want you to make yourself like look good and feel sensual and sexy, and get yourself something nice to wear, and go out in the world and be seen. Like, you need to engage in this energy of being attractive, and putting out the vibes in the universe that I'm here, and I'm open to connecting with deep and meaningful, or manifesting deep and meaningful relationships with like-minded people. Okay. So these are some of the fun things you can do. I want you to play with this. Okay. Because there's a lot of serious energy. There's something about, you said like I'm middle-aged, and, all that stuff. And so, Emily says, you can post that. Here we go. Blocks are there, but I aim to work on that. Okay, good. So it's good that you're identifying the blocks, but this is it. It's just, this is 100% in your court. This is how you can take responsibility, is to, first of all, shift your limiting beliefs by doing the affirmations, by listening to guided practice. When you're, as I mentioned, when you're in theta wave brain state, this will help you shift. Of Of course, whenever you're feeling uncomfortable or triggered or a little nervous because you're going out in the world, I want you to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing and just center yourself and ground yourself so you can really feel that I'm doing this and I believe in myself and it's going to be okay. I'm going to have fun. I give myself permission to have fun. And then I want you to do the things that make you feel attractive. Okay. So again, you have to be attractive to yourself. Okay. So this is so important. It's not just about hoping that someone else finds you attractive. You have to become attractive to yourself. And when you put yourself in that energy and you embody that energy, other people will meet you there. Okay. This is all inner work that needs to happen, Emily. Okay. And you can check out the link for the readings. We're going to put that at the end. DK says, thank you so much. Is exactly what I felt. And I so want to know how to work on this issue. Oh, I'm so glad that was helpful. Okay, good. So for anybody who wants to go deeper into these conversations, we have a link that Barbara's going to put up here for you in a second. It's all this is a link to come and book a reading with me. So we can see each other on screen, we can talk, and we can go deeper into what's really blocking you. Okay. This is so important. Again, beliefs create, influence every cell in the body. And so often we have limiting beliefs from early childhood that we don't even realize are there, that are really connected to an experience we had with mother, father, or caregiver, and we're still playing out the evidence of these beliefs by manifesting the evidence of this belief. Okay, so we're keeping those beliefs in place. It's so important. If we don't dismantle that, I can give you a reading based on the trajectory that you're on, or you can also change the trajectory that you're on by doing the inner work, right? So both of these things are true. So the point of the reading is to give you insight in terms of what there is for you to work on, and then it's up to you to take on the work. Okay, so the link is there to come and work with me and see how you can really transform your life. All right, good. Hi, Emily. Emily says, may I please have a message about my schooling? Am I on the right path? Are there any changes I should make? Hi, Emily. Let me take a sip of water. I feel like you're a little bored with what you're studying. Emily, overall, I feel like you're kind of disconnected from what you're doing. Okay. So, it feels like a little bit of disappointment, like you're just not on the right track. Here is Emily validating. Let's see here. Emily says, yes, I'm very bored. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. So, okay. So overall, though, I feel like there's a listlessness, like a disconnection to life and, enthusiasm for living and the joy of living. So, again, I believe I've said this many times to you, Emily, like we need to look at the relationship with your mom and with your caregivers and your conditioning. I understand you don't know what else to do. There's nothing for you to do in the external. There's actually nothing that you can do on the external plane that's going to, I'm quite listless. Okay. There's nothing we can do on the external plane that's going to shift what needs to shift internally. Like you need a good cry and a good breathwork session and to have like a transparent conversation with your mom about your relationship and your childhood. And you need to come out of this funk about how you feel in your body. And I think we talked last time about moving your body and getting some positive endorphins going. So there's some herbal supplements you could probably take as well that would help kind of boost your serotonin a little bit and help you feel a little more alive and connected to yourself and to your joy. Okay, she won't have that conversation with me. Yeah. Okay, so when we have a situation where mom is not available, first of all, I feel like if you went to her and said, I need help and I need support, and I would love to talk to you a little bit about, what it was like growing up with you. And I don't want to blame you or vilify you. I really just want to have an open dialogue so that I can heal. I think you might have a different response. Okay. So oftentimes parents shut down because they already know. She already knows what kind of mom she was. So she doesn't want to feel the blame being directed at her. Okay, so she's protecting herself from that. She gets defensive and makes excuse. Okay, there. So that's, I wasn't reading before I was talking, so that makes sense. So, but if you went in not with it with a non-violent approach and said, "Look, I really just want to share. I don't want to argue. I don't want to blame or vilify you. I just want to share from my heart what it was like, and see if you can help me. Like, it would mean so much to me to be able to discuss this with you. And of course, I want to hear what it was like for you to be my mom and invite her into the conversation." A nonviolent communication dialogue with her, NVC, is a wonderful book. Emily, I recommend you. Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. You can go on Amazon and get it for $15, and it's an inexpensive way to really kind of take responsibility. I don't think she cares. That's not true. She does care. She does care. She's just also depressed, and she's also disconnected, and like not really feeling like she has the capacity or the bandwidth. I think she just feels she's tired of feeling the weight of the responsibility, and I feel like there's a ton of weight on her for whatever reason. I feel like she's like heavily burdened mentally and emotionally. Okay, so she's got her own path and her own work to do. She's not interested in connecting with me at all. Yeah, I think that, like I said, do the NVC. Start there. First of all, I would like to see you in a reading. So, but come and book a reading with me so we can go deeper into this, and I can help you do some experiential processes that'll help release some of this stuck energy. And then I want you to get the book, the Nonviolent Communication book, so that you can really understand from a compassionate perspective why your mother behaves the way she does and how you can approach her in a different way. This needs to happen. If she's completely shut down, which I don't believe, I believe that if you approached her with a new intention, a different energy, she'll be open. But if she's completely shut down, you actually don't need her participation to heal. You don't. I do it with clients all the time. Parents are unavailable. They're not available in 3D. They're, cut off, or, caregivers could have, mental health issues and so on that make it impossible for us to have a dialogue with them. It's still possible for you to heal. Okay. So, and it's important for you to know that it's about you not needing something from her anymore. So maybe there's that is sort of the last option of kind of letting go of needing anything from her, and just you learning how to mother yourself. Okay. How to be your own parent and to care for your own well-being so that you can live free of this. Okay. So part of the depression that you're going through is you have the story that you have this mother that doesn't care about you. Okay. So, and that is very challenging. And this has been going on for a very, very, very long time. Okay. So that's part of the reason why you feel disconnected, and nothing that you try seems to make you happy. Okay. Because there's a lot of pain that you're carrying, Emily. Okay. So we'll put the link here again for Emily Barbara so she can come in and chat with me in a one-on-one. Okay. There you go. There you go. Well, here we talk. Here, so that's the link for a reading, and like I said, you can start with Nonviolent Communication, which is the book I recommended, which is much less expensive, much more affordable, and you can start there, and that will start to open things up for you. There's also a video, Emily, on my YouTube channel that's entitled "How to Heal the Mother Wound." Watch that, and there's a bunch of other videos in my YouTube library that you can access that will really help you. Okay. All right, beautiful. Hi, AC. Nice to see you. AC says, I've been going on a lot of interviews, but haven't been offered a job. Are there any tips that you can give me about why I haven't, sorry, the writing's a bit small for me, why I haven't been able to find anything? Okay. AC, are you in Virginia? I don't know if you're still here. Please validate if you are. I don't know why I keep hearing Virginia, like Virginia Beach, Southern Virginia. Yes, in VA. Oh, okay, good. All right, beautiful. So I feel like I don't think you should leave Virginia, but I feel like you need to move to a major city in Virginia. Okay, so that's the message I'm getting. So it's like kind of like, um, yeah, you're gonna have to go further from your home to find something. Okay, and it's like, I don't know if you're with your family or surrounded by family where you are, which I understand is very supportive and helpful, but there is an opportunity for you to work to move into like a bigger city. Um, oh, starts with an A. Northern Virginia. Yes, I've been interviewing further from my home and still. Okay. Yeah, Northern Virginia. Okay, good. Okay, so this is where you just have to hold on. It's the job is right here. It's literally right here. So I see it like it's gonna be gonna have like it's further away from where you're living, so you might have to commute, but there is an opportunity for some remote work. Okay, and then eventually you'll move to this bigger town, um, bigger metropolis within Virginia. I'm not so familiar with all the cities there, but I want you to look into it. There is a job either in marketing, something like that. Like it's a you're working for a large company. Okay. So I want you to keep applying and don't lose faith and stay grounded in the belief that there is something available to you, that this doesn't have to be hard. Because there's a lot of frustrated energy. Okay. And the frustration is getting in the way of you living in the realm of infinite possibility. Like I feel like there's jobs all the way around you, but they're just out of reach. And so that tells me that there's something going on in your belief system as well, so that you're so not nannying. No, I mean, you're not, that's, I don't think that's going to be a long-term solution anyway. There is a job where like I see an opportunity working for a much larger corporation, either in marketing or customer service or some kind of department within an organization, dealing with people. Okay, dealing with people and ideas. This is what I see for you, and I think it's important for you to keep applying for different things. The reason why the nannying isn't working out is because this is just kind of like an interim thing. Okay. I don't see that as a long-term option, and I don't see that that's what is going to serve your highest and best good. I don't see that this is the thing that's going to bring you the most joy. Okay. So again, I don't, because there's all this frustrated energy. And when we get frustrated, we get stuck in lack and scarcity. And so we want to do jobs to just kind of get through life or find a way to provide for ourselves. This is not the right trajectory. Okay. Your higher self wants something more than that. It wants to feel joy. It wants to feel connected. It wants to feel like it's being fully utilized, fully self-expressed. Okay. So it's something beyond what you've been applying for. So I want you to, go back to the drawing board, really regroup and think about what are the things that really bring you joy, and then take a good look at what's out there. And there are jobs in your area. It's just not what you've been applying for. I want you to change your scope. Okay. And it's further out from where you've been living. That's exactly what I feel. I just need to survive. Yeah, I understand. So do you see how the universe is just not going to meet you there? Okay. It's just not. I remember this from my own journey. And when I took a job, it was the only job I've ever been fired from in my entire life. I took a job once upon a time because I was stuck in survival mode, and I was like, I just need something coming in. And like I said, I didn't last in this job, and I was miserable. I was unhappy. I started to feel ill in my body. I was disconnected from my joy, and I was just doing it to survive. And like I said, it's the only job I've ever been fired from. And when I got fired, I was like, oh, the universe is telling me not to pretend like I'm not going to be provided for, but to go for the thing that really brings me the most joy. This is what you want. You don't just want a job that's going to pay bills, because then you'll be right back. You're saying, I have a job, but I'm unhappy. Right now, what? Right. So this is the time, especially if you're staying with family, it feels like you have support. This is the time for you to sort of regroup and think about what it is that you really, really, really love to do. Okay. What is the thing you would do for free? What is the thing that you do that your friends come to you for, or that you do, or that you think about in your spare time, the hobby that you enjoy, or the thing that you have a natural talent or inclination for. Spend some time thinking about that. Okay. This is unique for all beings. It's not up to me to tell you what that is, but I would head into the marketing, working with people, customer service type of thing, because that trajectory will open up doors for you. Okay. And I think that's important. Okay. So I want to leave you with that. And that's your homework. Okay. That's your homework. You're welcome. Hi, Patty. Patty says, may I have a general reading, please? Okay. Let me see what I have for you tonight. I feel like you've made some moves since the last time we spoke, in terms of setting some boundaries and saying no more, which is good. I don't, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like much has changed from the last time I channeled for you, which was last week, but I want to say that you're on the right path as far as work is concerned. And I want to say that this gentleman that you're dating is turning out to be, yeah, like this is the kind of pace we're looking for. Friendship, you know, I feel like he's kind and patient, maybe a little bit distant at times, but don't get in your head about it. Okay. I want you to just let it be. Might be triggering or activating a part of you that is sort of, wondering, or needing more. Okay. This happens to you in relationship, Patty, where you start dating somebody and you feel like you've got, full sovereignty and you're fully grounded and centered in what you want, and you've established the parameters and so on. And then you start to get a little bit attached and you lose your center and you start wondering, if that person's still interested or not interested. Your thoughts start going to this situation and it activates a certain neediness. Okay. So this is what we're working on. And this is what I want you to work on, is always coming back to yourself. Again, this is the theme for tonight, is coming home to yourself. So are you practicing all of the tools that I've given you, that we've channeled, to really embody unconditional love, to make sure that you're filling up your own cup, and to make sure that you are feeling good in your own skin. Okay. This is important for you to feel good in your skin. Speaking of skin, I'm feeling I don't know, some attention for your skin. Like some attention needs to be put around your skin. For some reason, I'm getting this message as well. Like, yeah, I don't know if you're still here. I have made some decisions. We've had a discussion about what we want, and we are on the same track. I'm aware that I'm easily attached. Okay, good. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if you want to validate this for me. There's something going on with your skin. It's either dry skin or something going on with the skin, that spirit is kind of like saying, paying attention to your physical well-being. Pay attention to your physical well-being. The skin is the largest organ on the body, so pay attention to what you're putting on it. Pay attention to making sure you're well hydrated. There's something going on with your physical health right now, like that's affecting your nervous system. I want you to pay attention to. Okay, so again, eating clean and drinking lots of water, making sure you're getting proper rest, maintaining your physical well-being so that you can have a clear path ahead and you can have clarity in your thoughts, and, feeling anchored in your body. I have eczema. Okay, good. And so this is what I was actually going to say eczema. I don't know why I stopped myself. So something going on with the dry skin. So this is what you need to focus on. Eczema, is the deeper meaning of eczema is being irritated. Okay, so there's an irritation going on. What's irritating you? What's getting under your skin? Okay, these are questions I want to ask you, the kind of journal prompts for you to sit down and really look at and work through and say, okay, what's really eating at me? Okay, that is causing me to feel irritated in my life. and that it's connected to some kind of financial issue, maybe some unresolved financial issue that's been lingering for some time. This needs integrity. It needs to be cleaned up. You need to either have a conversation or resolve it or come clean about something, or, make a payment or something like that. But once you resolve this financial thing, it's showing up in the realm of finances, the eczema will clear up. Okay, because this is what it's connected to. It's just you feeling irritated about something. Okay, this is my message for you tonight, Patty. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Keeping in mind journaling. She said journaling has helped a great deal. I just went through bankruptcy. Okay, this makes sense, right? This is all connected. So keep journaling, and yeah, the bankruptcy is something that you have to forgive yourself for this. Okay. There's a lot of judgment and shame around it, it feels like. So that's part of why your eczema is acting up. Um, Patty says, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. So letting go of judgments, letting go of like any shame or guilt you have about this. This is something that is very common. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be judging yourself about. Just like making peace with that and saying that was then, this is now. Okay. Giving yourself permission to have things, to go out and buy the things you need. It's okay. Okay. So this is not a stain on your soul. It might be a mark on your credit report, but it's not a stain on your soul. Okay. So make peace with that and love yourself through it. Okay. Beautiful. You're welcome. Emily says eczema has definitely flared up emotions. Yeah, 100%. Okay. Hi, Jolie. Nice to see you. I'm very thirsty tonight, you guys. I'm going to take some more water and I'll be right back. Jolie says, hi, Sabrina. I have a medical test coming up and I feel okay about it. Wanted to see if you pick up anything. Okay. So I'm not a medical professional. I have to say that. Can't give diagnosis. But I will tell you, this is sugar related. Okay. You can't have sugar, Jolie. I mean, nobody should be eating sugar anyway, but you really have to watch it. Okay. You have to watch your sugar intake. You have to watch your insulin levels. You have to watch your, yeah, this is going to be fine. Okay. It's just something that you might have to change on a dietary level. But this is not, there's nothing to be concerned about. Okay. Let me see what else I have for you. Yeah, I like I said, this is going to be okay. There's just something that needs to change on a dietary level for you, and you're going to be fine. You're going to come back and tell me, oh yeah, it was just this, and I just have to make some small modifications, and I'll be okay. There's nothing to be concerned about here. Okay. And then it's not sugar related, but I've been feeling like I need to slow down on the sugar. Okay, good. That's what I pick up. So whatever else is going on is going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And yeah, I don't know. If this is feels like it could be a breast exam. But like I said, there's nothing for you to be concerned about. Okay. So you're good. I get no alarm bells around your house. But I do get some warning. Jolie says, what does Jolie say? Yes. Okay. That's it. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. I mean, I want to say that whatever lump or whatever you're feeling there is okay. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's just, there's no need for you to be afraid or to be scared. Okay. It's going to be all right. Like I said, I'm not a medical professional, but I feel like if there were alarm bells, I would tell you, or I would say, speak to your doctor. But I feel like it's going to be okay. And you need to slow down on the sugar. Okay. Everything's connected. You think that this is separate from that, but it's not. You need to really look at what you're eating and how you're taking care of your body. because all unresolved emotions have a physical manifestation. Okay. All physical symptoms have an emotional root. I'll say that the other way. It makes more sense in this context. So I want you to really focus on and the breast is connected to mother, relationship with mother, relationship to the feminine, your own feminine energy. Okay, so this is the work you need to do. And it's all about separating yourself from your mother and drawing those boundaries from her. This will help you move into your own feminine energy, your own feminine softness. That's the underlying inner work that needs to happen here. Okay, beautiful. All right, I'll leave you with that. Hi, Angela. Angela says, Whirlwind Soldier. I like your handle. Angela says, do you see anything for me that I may be currently missing? This has to do with your love life, I think. Right? We're talking about love life and partner and partnership, a desire for partnership. If you're still here, please validate. Yeah, something to work on. You're welcome. My pleasure. I have a visitor here. Okay. It's okay. You can just come get him. Just come get him. Thank you. All right. So if you're here, please validate. So, okay, has to do with your love life. It has to do with a desire for a soul connection, for a beloved. Yeah, I mean, look, I want to say, Spirit says this is self-esteem related. Okay, so this is moving through trauma so that you can reconstruct your self-esteem, rebuild your self-esteem, your self-image, and so that you can really connect or be in that space to manifest someone that loves you, or someone that loves you as much as you love yourself. Okay, so she's saying, I'm here. Okay, good. Again, this is self-esteem related. There's a lot of self-doubt. There is trauma connected to your relationship with your dad that I want you to look at. Okay, so doing some forgiveness work around your relationship with your father. Forgiveness work in general, by the way, for everybody watching, is so important. Okay, there's no such thing as a justified resentment. Regardless of what happened to you, regardless of who did what to you, regardless of how horrible it was in your life, that doesn't condone what they did, but holding on to the resentment around it is what is keeping you in a toxic place. It's toxic in your body, and it affects your belief in yourself. It affects your self-worth. And Spirit wants you to work on developing your confidence and developing your own self-care. Like, I feel like you could have a bit more discipline. I understand. She says, okay, good. So, and again, I respect the intimacy of the details of your life. I mean, this is a YouTube show. I spent a few minutes with you, but if you want to come do some deeper inner work, please book a reading with me. And we'll go deeper into this experience with your dad, which really kind of set you up for a lot of difficult relationships with men. Okay. And you need to recover. It's almost like there's a little piece of you that got left behind. Every single one of these relationships, a little piece of you got fractured off. Okay. And so we want to go back and pick up these pieces of you so we can reintegrate them and you can have a more holistic experience of yourself. Okay. This is about you forgiving yourself, forgiving others, letting go of resentment so you can have peace, so you can feel calm and good in your body and develop your self-confidence and see yourself as lovable. Okay. This is inner child work that needs to happen here. Okay. Of course, I mean, some might say that's my solution to everything, because I think it is. I really do. I believe that, the foundational work we all need to do is to look at our conditioning, is to look at the story of our lives, what happened to us, what we're saying, what we're telling ourselves about who we are because of what happened to us, so that we can change that story. Okay. And create a new identity. Yes, absolutely. Okay, good. So there is a lot of this, like being mistreated, mishandled, having your heart broken, being betrayed, even some verbal abuse. Okay. So that we got to purge that from your cellular field, so that you can step into a more loving, more caring, more a higher standard of love for yourself. Okay. Yes, on the inner child work. Okay, good. Beautiful. So come and do some. Okay. And we'll put the link here for readings. You can start there and I'll point you in the right direction. Okay. Beautiful. All right, everybody. Good. Do we have more questions, Barbara? I have my trusted moderator here who's helping me. Thank you, Barbara. Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, hi, Sabrina. Do you have any news for me? This is an interesting question. Okay, let me see. I don't think we've met before, Elizabeth. Let me see what I have for you. This is also work related. It feels like it's something that you're either looking to start or do, heading in a different direction, new horizon, new way of doing things. It feels like new direction in your life. So it's not quite clear yet for you, but it's coming. Okay. So the thing that you're moving towards, there's a change in your work and it's coming in the next, like, I want to say it's imminent. So I want to say within the next 30 to 60 days, you're going to see a shift in this area. And it's something that, yeah, it's either, it's like more responsibility, it's opportunity to make more money, it's an opportunity for you to like take on more, again, more responsibility and more getting even, I want to say there's something more detailed about what you're doing as well. Okay. So it's going to require more attention to detail, require more responsibility on your part. And it's good because you're ready for it. Okay. I actually feel like this is something you studied for or are studying for. So there is an opportunity to practice what you're learning or to practice what you've learned, put that in, to implement it and to shift into this new direction, which is going to be very good for you. I actually feel like you're a very ambitious person. I feel like you're a person who, you're very clear about wanting what you want and where you're going. And I feel like the universe is going to reflect that back to you and it's going to be positive. Okay. So stay on the right track. The only thing I want to say from a higher self perspective is to watch for that perfectionism. Don't be so hard on yourself and give yourself room to play and to be human and to just, live. I find that you can be very, very, very hard on yourself. Okay. Elizabeth says, are you validating? Elizabeth says, yes, I'm looking for something different. Okay, good. It's coming. Something different's coming. And it's going to be something that you either studied for or are studying for, something that you're researching. It's like a direct result of that. Okay. So, or it could be something that requires you to, take on another credential or something like that. Okay. And just really, don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself space to just be in the process of exploration. Take on the job search like an open, gentle curiosity. Okay. Stay out of survival mode. This is what I had said to someone else who I channeled for earlier. Survival mode doesn't create abundance. It doesn't create possibility. It just creates more survival mode. It puts you in situations that don't necessarily feel good, but you feel obligated. Okay. So survival creates more obligation in your life. And Elizabeth says, yes, you're right. Okay, good. So just be open, gentle curiosity and really approach this with like the realm of infinite possibilities. I'm studying this thing. I'm interested in this thing. And there's going to be something that this leads to something else. Okay. So again, it's either a certification or something that leads to something else that puts you on a better trajectory. Okay. And of course I see an increase in income as well. Okay. So you just have to give this some time and not rush into it. Okay. That's my message for you, Elizabeth. All right. Beautiful. 6:00, everybody. I don't know where the time flies. The hour literally goes like that. I have so much fun doing these readings, in case you can't tell. Thank you for being here with me live. I love you all so much. For those of you that want to book a reading with me, there's the link. Come and see me. Let's talk. Let's hang out. I would love to channel for you in a one-to-one, in the privacy of a Zoom session where we can really go deep and I can give you some practical tools on how to see results immediately in your life. Of course, for those of you that are looking for deeper inner child containers, that's available as well. You can find that all on my website. In the meantime, we will see you here at 5:00 on Wednesday. Yeah, I would love, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them at the end of this video. All my love. Thank you, everybody. Good night.